El Mirage police are investigating after officers say a person living inside a home shot an intruder. According to police, 4 suspects broke into an El Mirage home and they were armed with weapons. This happened yesterday evening near El Mirage Road and Thunderbird. Police say the suspects were confronted by the people living there. One resident opened fire with a weapon, hitting an intruder, and the other 3 took off running. The man who was hit did die from his injuries. El Mirage detectives continue to investigate.
According to Billings police, a 25-year-old woman shot and wounded 2 suspects in an apparent self-defense case on Saturday afternoon. It happened in an alley like this one near West High School, and BPD says the investigation is still ongoing. The shots rang out just before 1 Saturday afternoon. Police say a 25-year-old woman was being attacked and robbed by 2 men in an alley right outside of her car when she pulled out a concealed firearm and shot them.
People think of self-defense or things like that. The actual legal term is justifiable use of force.
Paul Ryan is a Missoula defense attorney who knows a thing or two about Montana's use of force laws.
The law allows you to defend yourself with the same force that they're coming with, essentially.
Ryan represented Marcus Karma. Karma is currently serving a 70-year sentence for shooting and killing a German foreign exchange student that he caught trespassing in his Missoula garage in 2014.
There's different standards depending on location. For example, there's a different standard if you're in your house versus outside your house. There's different standards if you're defending property versus your person.
Montana law says a person is justified in using force, but only if the person reasonably believes the force is necessary to prevent imminent death or serious bodily harm. No one involved in Saturday's shooting has been charged, at least not yet. The 2 suspects were taken to the hospital to be treated for their injuries. As for the woman who shot them, Billings police spokesperson Matthew Linnick told MTN in a quote saying the law is pretty clear on people's rights to use self-defense when they can articulate a threat to themselves or others. Like all cases of this nature, the case will be reviewed by the county attorney's office. Linnick also tells MTN it doesn't appear the woman knew the 37 and 27-year-old men who tried to rob her. Neither of the men were armed.
You hope certainly the police are going to do a thorough investigation, really take a look at this. And I think, the investigation will take its course.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Police say a carjacking victim in Kensington shot the person who tried to take their vehicle. The incident started at North Masher and West Burke Streets. Police say the suspect approached the victim in his car, and the victim fired a gun through the windshield, shattering the glass and hitting the suspect in the chest. The suspect then ran to Frankfort Avenue and East Palmer Street, where he collapsed and was rushed to the hospital. He is in critical condition.
We heard the 80-year-old victim was being treated at Resurrection Hospital, where he was taken in critical condition after police say he was beaten up in this home invasion and attack. Chicago police say an 80-year-old man was badly injured in a Northwest Side home invasion after he fought off his attackers. Now the 2 suspects are in police custody.
This doesn't happen here. This is a pretty rare event.
Police say this happened at 10:30 on the 8500 block of West Catherine in the O'Hare neighborhood. Boris Stoyakovich and his family manage the apartment complex across from where the home invasion happened.
We're actively checking that all of our doors stay closed and notifying our residents to make sure not to let anyone in the building they're not expecting.
Chicago police say after the man answered a knock on the door, the suspects, a man and woman, forced their way in and began struggling with the 80-year-old. The victim, who has a FOID card, then shot at the suspects and hit the man in the chest. A neighbor who did not want to show her face on camera says she's concerned for her safety and heartbroken for the 80-year-old man.
It's really scary to hear someone really close, living close to you is going through stuff like that. Oh my gosh, it's really scary.
Police say following the shooting, the 2 suspects drove to Resurrection Hospital. Police say charges are still pending.
Good afternoon. My name is Greg Gorick, and I am the Chief of Police for the Haines City Police Department. The reason I've invited you here today is that we had a situation that occurred early this morning in the Oakland area of Haines City, and we wanted to advise our citizens and the public of Polk County what exactly had transpired. Around 1:45 this morning, one of our local residents arrived home with his girlfriend and their little puppy. They were approaching their house. Nonchalantly, we're taking care of what puppies do in the front yard whenever they approach the residence. walked in the front door, and as they turned on the lights, they were startled to find two individuals inside of their residence. Now you can imagine, you don't expect this, you walk into your residence and all of a sudden there's these two strangers standing inside your kitchen and within feet of you, almost face to face. Well, both individuals were scared for their lives. The gentleman, who is a licensed carrying concealed weapons permit holder in the state of Florida, fearing for the safety of himself as well as his girlfriend, drew his firearm and fired 5 shots at the suspect who was closest to him. He then was able to grab his girlfriend and the puppy, run outside, get into his vehicle, and then leave the scene. Now, he immediately dialed 911 to notify law enforcement of what had transpired and headed towards the Haines City Police Department. We were able to, and when I say we, officers of the Haines City Police Department were able to intercept the homeowner as he was traveling to the police department and get him stopped. While one officer interviewed him to find out what had happened, the other officers responded to his address, which was on 7th Street, within the northeast portion of the Haines City response area. When they came upon a pavilion, underneath the pavilion, they located a subject who was later identified as one of the suspects and found that he had 4 bullet wounds, 2 in the upper chest and 2 in his lower extremities, his legs. These 4 officers were able to save this individual's life. They were able to stop the bleeding enough so that when he was finally airlifted to a trauma center, Osceola Regional Medical Center, that at this moment he is still alive. He is critical but stable, but he is still alive today. The subject who entered the residence that we now currently have in custody but is still being treated at Osceola Regional Medical Center is one Tyreek Washington. He's a 27-year-old male born in 1995 who is currently saying that he is homeless, but he is from the Haines City area. Now, he is no stranger to law enforcement. He does have a criminal history. The homeowner has been very cooperative. He immediately and voluntarily surrendered his weapon as well as produced his carrying concealed weapons permit. He answered all questions that were asked of him as well as his girlfriend. And the investigation is currently ongoing, trying to identify the second suspect in this case. One should expect that if you're brazen enough to enter into someone's residence and it is not yours with intent to commit an unlawful act, there may be repercussions. We live in Florida, and more so we live in Polk County, and most people are armed. Okay? That's probably the logical conclusion. If you break into somebody's house, you might end up getting shot by the homeowner.